Hi friends, Joseph Marquise here. Welcome to 5-Day Thrive. 5-Day Thrive is a series we do once a month. It's about really embracing the thrive. That's why I call it 5-Day Thrive. And the idea is that every day for 5 days we cover a different lesson. These are all lessons we teach in our community success circles. Success circles is something we started 14 years ago. It's a peer coaching community, and it's really about elevating your game, realizing that every day is a game. There's an opportunity to improve on tomorrow's game by reflecting on the previous day's game. And it's really kind of the ultimate blend of accountability, performance, getting feedback, and getting results. And it's something I'm very proud of myself. It's allowed me and hundreds of members over the course of the past 14 years to continually make 1% progress or more per day onwards toward reaching our goals and our dreams. So check it out, successcircles.com. So our first lesson today is owning your why. Tomorrow is about power focus. Wednesday is breakthrough systems. Thursday is living courageously. And Friday is completion. So it's a mouthful. So if you go to 5daythrive.com, you can learn more about it. We invite you to share this with your friends too as well. And here goes a lesson. So owning your why. So what does that mean? So when I first came across the idea of the why, it was through Tony Robbins. He has a program called Time of Your Life. In that program, he talks about, well, you've got projects, you've got these things in life you're working toward, and imagine, if you would, that for every one of those things, there's a why, there's a reason, there's a purpose. And that when you hear and write this why as it is, perhaps as an accomplishment, or perhaps in such a way where you see it living the world, making a difference, or, if you can really hone in onto the purpose behind it, then it'll juice you up and it'll pull you into action versus most people do is they go through life doing a lot of work, doing a lot of stuff, and not really, having the juice that pulls them into action. So for me, the why is the juice. And Simon Sinek, who wrote a book called Start with Why, Find Your Why, he also is, on a similar level too as well. He's another author, talks about that idea of the why. But it is really the juice behind things. So for example, right now, this 20-minute session we're doing here, 15, 20-minute session we're doing here, my why is to be able to deliver value, create impact in the world, to have members of our community success circles elevate their game to another level by investing a few minutes each day. My why also is really honing on these skills that I've been teaching for years, internalizing them further so that I'm congruent with that each day, so I can really maximize my impact with my family and really, own my why with my wife and my kids. So that's my why, right? And I said that why in the moment, right? And when I hear it, when I speak it out loud, it pulls something in me, my heartstrings. It pulls that, and so that's for this current session, for example. So I invite you, like, what's your why for every project in your life? Maybe you've got a goal of being in a dream relationship. Maybe you have a goal of getting your dream house. Maybe your goal is to go on a trip and create a quality experience for some loved ones. And if you can hone in on the why for each of those things, I promise you that when it comes down to taking the actions that are needed, it becomes very clear, right? Specifically, the 20% of the actions that'll get you 80% of the results. It'll become very clear what to do. So my why is all around me. So on tomorrow's lesson, we'll talk about power focus. It's about environment, and for example, my why is there in front of me as far as imagery. So this is kind of a picture of my family that I have. My why is on the wall. I've got quotes on the wall all around me. I've got pictures of my mastermind, my momentum groups over there on one side. And it's when you can design an environment, we'll talk about this further tomorrow on Power Focus, where you're continually, inspired, where you see the things continually that really draw you into action each day. I promise your life gets a lot easier. So, just consider all that. I also want to invite you here, so in this session here, to look at why as a juice. There's something that propels you into action, right, each day. And it's this thing called a why. But I want to also invite you to really own that. The why is basically energy. A book came out years ago called The Power of Full Engagement by Tony Schwartz and Jim Lohr. And in that book, Tony and Jim created a paradigm shift around time management. They basically offer the audience of readers the idea that instead of managing time, it's managing energy. So what does that mean, managing energy? So energy is the juice that goes into what you do. Energy is taking breaks and pauses once in a while. Energy can be created by, my wife and I took a couple of days off recently to go on a trip with the kids. And we came back refreshed. We had more energy than ever from being able to do that. I take exercises throughout the day where I might go to the garage and get a rebounder or maybe do a power walk. The reason why is because as soon as that ends or as that's moving forward, doing that workout, my energy, my body increases. So I want to invite you to see that the why is also the juice, the energy, and you have the ability to create more energy within yourself too. And it's very much about consuming the right foods also, and consuming the right fluids. One thing I love about this week, 5-Day Thrive, and which I do each month for a week, sometimes 2 weeks, is that it's also an opportunity, a framework for me to eat clean. So every day for the next 4 to 5 days, I'm eating clean. And what that means is juicing, green vegetables, lots of water and fluids and lemon. And so what I've noticed doing this for the past year is that my level of clarity just goes up through the roof when I approach life this way, kind of really eating clean. And I find that eating clean the whole month can be a little challenging. I have 2 kids, I'm married, we travel a bit as well. Also, we love going on date nights once a week. So there's all these opportunities throughout the week to cheat. But when I cut out all the meat and the dairy for this 1 week, for these 5 days, the level of clarity, the energy they have within me increases. I have some friends who do this all year round, where they cut out alcohol and meats and dairy all year round. I can't do that. So for me, doing this twice a month for 5-day periods works for me at this stage of my life. So I want to invite you, if you're watching this, to what is your juice for yourself? So track it every day. Track it for yourself. Like what gives you more energy? Right? It could be something in the environment, like I mentioned before. It could be a matter of really writing out your why, journaling what that is. It could be getting in dialogue. We have a program called Success Circles where you're in dialogue with someone who's a step or two ahead of you. And in sharing your why, your goals, your dreams, getting feedback, for most of our members who start their morning this way, they have more juice in their morning. They're in inspired action right after that call. It's a way for them to tap into that why and to refine it every day, to calibrate what that is for themselves. So check that out, Success Circles, if you choose to. Get in dialogue. That's one thing I'd offer you as far as that goes. Also, what foods fuel you? So when you have meat, how do you feel afterward? You might feel great, perhaps at nighttime, thinking about maybe drinking a glass of wine and having a piece of steak or a piece of fish. But when you're working throughout your day, my experience for most of us is that some of those heavily cooked foods, can slow us down a bit. And I want to invite you to think about that for yourself. What foods fuel you? For me, avocados, sardines, green juice, lots of water, lots of fluids, celery juice, green powder with my matcha. I've got matcha tea over here, which is a type of green tea that I drink once in a while. You make a list of these foods. I used to have this thing in my fridge years ago, going back 20 years ago, where if I wanted to have a better mood, so I had 3 columns. So mood, energy, and skin. Those are the 3 columns: mood, energy, and skin. So under mood, I had a list of different, foods and vegetables and nuts that enhance mood, like serotonin levels. And under energy, I had certain foods also that also raise energy, avocados, for example. And under skin, I also had a list of things there too: Brazil nuts, and avocados, and omega-3s. And so every time I'd want to kind of raise the bar in any one of those areas, I would just simply consume items in my fridge or near my fridge. And all of a sudden, maybe it might be 20 minutes, I really feel an increase or experience better skin, over the course of a week or two, because I had that. That was my focus. It was 20 years ago. It was my 20s at that point. And I say this because life is that simple. It's about recipes. So come this Wednesday, when you talk about automate your life for success, breakthrough systems, we'll talk about recipes there too. When you're willing to measure your growth across different areas in terms of how you feel, performance each day, when you do that repeatedly, you eventually start getting addicted to this kind of way of growing because you start seeing your dreams being realized. You start feeling yourself being happier. You start experiencing others around you being happier too as well. So it becomes kind of this addiction. That's one of the reasons why we built our frameworks for that reason. And I want to invite you to play with us and to absorb the lessons of this series. Because when you start measuring these things on a daily basis, you start experiencing progress. And as many of you know, if you've studied personal growth, progress equates to happiness. When you're able to see yourself growing day in, day out, when you're able to see opportunities come your way and perhaps revenue in your bank account compound over time, it's a lot. You start experiencing happiness quickly, right? Because you start seeing that progress day in, day out. And that's what this is all about. So the work I do with these momentum frameworks within Success Circles, successcircles.com, it's all about really embracing greater levels of fulfillment and happiness. That's what it is. Everyone wants to be happy, right? And there's a formula to be happy. For me, years ago, 20 years ago, it was having that recipe on my fridge, as I mentioned before, consuming those things. Happiness also can mean getting a dialogue, having a great peer group, having a good environment, stepping out, embracing some sunlight. It could be knowing you're making progress each day as well. So play with this. If you want to have more progress in your life, if you want to have a measurable process to help you get there, I'm an engineer, and I want to support you toward measuring your progress, measuring your success. And it's something I enjoy doing. Check out successcircles.com for more. And stay tuned for tomorrow, Power Focus, and the rest of the week for the other lessons to 5daythrive.com. Tell your friends about this. This is something we do each month and we enjoy doing. I hope you got a lot of value from this session, and I want to invite you as an exercise right after this video is write out your why. Just maybe disconnect, go to a table back in my room, step outside, do a walk outside, and you're like, what's my why? What juices me up to really be the best version of myself? And there is this overarching why behind everything. And when you can connect and clarify what that is, even though it might change, every week a little bit, and we might refine it a bit, when you can connect with what that is for yourself, I promise you that there'll be a shift that'll happen. And, your reason for living, for showing up, for being in a relationship, for operating a business will start shifting, and people around you will start seeing that for yourself too. It's just owning and knowing what that why is for yourself. Thanks for joining me today, Joseph Orgis, successcircles.com, and I hope to connect with you soon. Cheers.